OK, so if you've been listening to Labour politicians, you've probably heard them make a lot of promises about growth and prosperity. The government has made it a mission to raise living standards in every part of the country. So after more than a year in government, how's that going? Well, not that great. This is some new analysis by the Sky News data and forensics team. It shows us how disposable incomes have changed. And that's just how much money we have left after tax each month. This is the big four, as you can see, during COVID and the cost of living crisis that followed. And here, the Tories were getting things back on track. And Labour also got off to a good start. You might remember public sector workers, doctors, rail workers got pay rises. But look here. We've actually been going backwards in recent months, so much so that today we only have £1 more to spend each month than we did at the end of 2019. And Starmer, well, he's going to have to step it up if he wants to match the success of previous Labour governments, but also Tory ones too. This shows us how previous governments have performed. Well, look. The last Parliament was rough. We had COVID, the inflation crisis. Incomes fell for the first time in post-war Britain. But that was unusual because actually every other Parliament has seen a growth in living standards. This is another way of looking at it. Look at the coalition government, 2010 to 2015. You can see they had a bumpy start. Remember, the country was coming out of recession and wages weren't growing very fast, if at all. But still, disposable incomes rose over that Parliament. The first new Labour government, well, they had an easier ride. You can see big leaps in disposable incomes, as did the major government before that, by the way. But things took a bit of a turn for Gordon Brown during the financial crisis, a little bit bumpy, but still incomes were up over the Parliament. So growth in disposable incomes, this isn't even a very ambitious target that Labour have set. Most governments, outside of COVID, have managed it. And remember, this is income after tax. So before you add in other essentials like food, utility bills and rents, which we know have also gone up. And in fact, when we include housing costs, well, things start to look much bleaker. Household disposable income, so look at the blue line, are actually now below COVID levels when you start to factor in housing costs. And looking ahead, they're forecast to decline this Parliament as earnings stagnate while higher taxes and housing costs eat into pay packets. So much so that Labour risks having the worst living standards performance of any Parliament on record. So this is a government mission that's veering dangerously off course. And you can keep track of how Starmer is performing against this and other key measures from small boats to crime in our new Starmer tracker on the Sky News app and website.